doom scrolling for hours, then crushing the deadlines in the panic mode, your ADHD adrenaline addiction is actually not an enemy. It is your key for better focus. Watch this how to hack an old Pomodoro method to turn it into a dopamine machine. I'm Ruben Gagarin, your favorite family psychiatrist. Let's start with what adrenaline does. It is a hormone that prepares our body for fight or flight response. Under acute stress, like upcoming deadline or maybe seeing a tiger, our body releases this hormone. And what it does to our body, it speeds everything up. Our metabolism goes up, our heart rate pumping faster, the blood pressure goes higher, the blood rushes into internal organs and the brain, leaving the skin less vulnerable. And the brain actually focuses better, it improves the memory and recall, we smell things better, we experience life more acutely. So it is not a surprise then that when our body releases adrenaline, then we feel better focus. Another name of adrenaline is epinephrine. In our brain, the version of that chemical called norepinephrine. So, and it is so powerful that we actually have medications for ADHD that target specifically this norepinephrine chemical. So one example is Intunif, another one Strattera. There are a couple of other medications that can target the norepinephrine to help our focus. So when medications or stress increase the level of norepinephrine in our brain, it releases dopamine. And as you probably know from other videos, dopamine is the main chemical responsible in our brain for focus, concentration, motivation. So, of course, we prepare our brain to fight the task in front of us. But we don't really have adrenaline when the task is a few days away. Actually, when I was in medical school, I had a year-long project to work on. I collected all the data, but I never actually sat down and to write the paper. And of course, I wrote it the last night. I pulled a full all-nighter to write that paper, and it took quite a while. And of course, I didn't get 100%. Similarly to what happens to my patients, they wait till last moment and then they sprint, and of course they hit the finish, but they're not the first ones there, so they don't get 100%, so they always underperform. And of course they feel exhausted, so for the next few days they have to rest and recoup. But you know what? The other projects are coming up. So basically it becomes a roller coaster. So they sprint for the adrenaline, they have this spike and they have this energy to fight one project, but then they crash and they cannot function for a couple of days, and they actually not very motivated anyway. So until the next release of adrenaline. Well, not long ago, I started researching for this video, and I came up with this concept. It's called adrenaline sprints. Now, what that is, and again, I can relate to some degree, when you force your body to release adrenaline, mostly through physical exercise, but we'll talk in a second what other options could be. Then our heart is pumping faster, our blood pressure goes higher because we have adrenaline in our body, and immediately after exercise, we actually better focus. There is a lot of research that supports this idea that physical exercise helps focus and attention, not permanently, unfortunately, but for the time being after the exercise. I can relate to that in a couple of different ways. I work out three days a week, and I do high intensity training. So I have quite a bit of adrenaline. So on those days, for a few hours after the training, I actually much more focused. Also, when I studied for my medical exams, of course, I would feel tired, kind of, like my focus would go down. And I did some push-ups, like a few push-ups, maybe just walk around, stretch, and I'm ready to go. Again, I don't have ADHD, so for me, these little things work. But the problem is that if you have ADHD, it is even hard even to organize this, even remember to do these things. So I was thinking how my patients can actually benefit from this adrenaline sprints when they can't even remember the deadlines. So I asked a few patients this week, and they actually liked my idea of combining adrenaline sprints with a Pomodoro method. You probably heard. It's all over the internet. If you ever struggled with the focus, attention, and organizing yourself, you probably came across this. So, what is a Pomodoro method? Actually, don't know why it's called Pomodoro method. If you find that out or just leave a comment. Let me know why it is a Pomodoro method. But the classic Pomodoro method is 25 minutes of intense work, then 5 minutes of, intense rest. And you repeat it 4 times, so 2 hours of work total, and you have a longer break. I would say maybe like half an hour or so. And then you can repeat it again if you have to. But if you're really focused, you actually can accomplish a lot in a couple of hours. But what happens to most people, especially those who have ADHD, that when they take the 5 minutes break, what do? Instead of giving their brain a little rest, they actually pull up their cell phone, they start scrolling through the social media, maybe watching some YouTube channels, hopefully my videos, but then they get distracted, so that after my video, that may be very useful, then they may come across like something else that is more entertaining, but maybe not very useful, so their brain is constantly working, and next thing they know is it's not 5 minutes, it's like 50 minutes past, or maybe 5 hours. Another problem with ADHD is a sense of time. But in any case, what I propose to do, it's actually very simple. You probably already figured it out, is to combine the two, to combine the 25 minutes work with 5 minutes of intense adrenaline sprint. Like, for example, what you can do, that you have to start with a warm-up. So maybe first interval starts with like 5 minutes warm-up. You kind of gather your stuff together, you prepare everything, you get ready. Then you get an app that can help you to regulate this. So I came up with this. I'm going to later figure out how can I screen record on my phone and then maybe share this with you. Let me see what it's called. It actually doesn't have a title here, so like I'll leave it in the comments. There's plenty of timers, but the one I used before, it's called WOD timer, workout of the day. It has a lot of options, but for this style of work, it actually limited the work to 15 minutes. This one seemed to have unlimited time for work. So in a sports community, this type of timer called Tabata. Again, don't know what that means. If you do, leave a comment, share with me your knowledge. So here's what I've done. Again, I'm going to try to share this screen with you, but it's very simple. So I set up some preparation time, then 25 in this, for this example, 25 seconds, but you would set 25 minutes, then rest for 5 minutes, but it's actually going to be physical work. So would say 25 minutes of mental work and 5 minutes of physical work. And then you repeat it on 4 cycles. So it is very important to have a plan, because if you are like me, if you have 5 minutes, I would spend 5 minutes or maybe 15 minutes trying to figure out what should I do for my adrenaline sprint. So it should be something that you can get to very quickly. For example, you can do wall runs. Let me show you what a wall run is. So you push the wall with your outstretched arms and you lean towards the wall, and then you pretend as if you're running. So what I'm doing right now, it's more a wall walk. Or like if I do this, it would be like a wall jog. And if I move faster, it would be a wall run. So, and the faster you go, of course, the more adrenaline you have. So you can go something like 20, 25 seconds or really fast run. Then you kind of stretch and relax for another maybe 30 seconds or so till the minute runs out, and you do it again. So obviously you should repeat it 4 or 5 times. Then you should catch your breath before studying. So I'm not a professional, but I learned it from professionals. And what they told me is actually if I keep my back straight and I'm sort of leaning forward as if I'm falling, it actually improves my running technique. So because when you run, you're apparently supposed to fall instead of like propelling yourself forward, you're actually falling using the gravity, and then your feet catch you, and then the feet supposed to land on the ball of the feet, not the heel. So, and also when it's not supposed to go something like this forward. It's supposed to go backwards. I haven't figured it out. It doesn't really make a lot of sense when I do it on this outside. But with a wall run, I have I think I have a perfect running technique as long as I have the wall. You can do something similar. It called on the floor. It called mountain climbers. So same idea, but instead of the wall, you push in a floor. So then you keep a plank position and you pretend as if you are running kind of in this horizontal position. You can do dancing. Pick up a nice playlist, something that would make you move and move as fast as you can. For some people, it may be hard metal rock. Crank it up, make it very loud. The louder it is, the more adrenaline, the more effective it could be. You don't have to actually dance. You can jump around and just enjoy yourself for 5 minutes until the timer calls you back, and then you run back. Now, see, exercise is great for focus and attention, but it is actually not so easy. It may sound easy just pushing the wall, but it's actually not. So if you can do it for a couple of minutes, or like 4 minutes, even if you take little breaks in between, then you actually want to stop and maybe move on to your mental work instead of getting stuck as you would with social media. Now, thinking about it, I don't think it's actually possible to do like a wall run for 4 minutes if you're not a professional. So I'd say you can use the same principle like a Pomodoro method, but in seconds. Maybe run for 25 seconds, but then rest for 35 until the minute runs out. It's called actually EMOM, every minute on the minute. So you run for like 20-25 seconds and then you rest for the rest of the minute, and then do again. Because what it does, it actually gives you more adrenaline because you push yourself for those like 20-25 seconds because you just had rested. So it's easier for you to kind of push yourself as hard as you can, and it's only 20 seconds, so it is very motivational. So you release all adrenaline in only 20-25 seconds. And then when you rest, your adrenaline kind of subsides, your body kind of comes down, only to experience a new spike of adrenaline. So it would be actually more effective if you do it this way. So what I propose to do is you can sit down and make a plan what kind of things you can do. Burpees, squats, wall runs, mountain climbers, you can dance. You can actually go to the washroom and if you have a bucket of ice water, just dump it all over yourself, but that probably would take you more than 5 minutes to do. So let me know if this idea actually works. So I presented it to a couple of my patients last week. They liked the idea. I don't know if they're actually going to use it because most of us actually don't listen to doctor's advice anyway. But when they come back, I'm gonna ask them. If you try the suggestion, again, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. So it doesn't feel as if I'm screaming into the void. If you have any suggestions how to improve it, I would be happy to hear them. So thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to my channel. And thank you very much. Bye-bye.